So Ryan has agreed to share some of his journey with us today. And so thanks, Ryan. I want to just thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it. So I wanted to know, first off, what did you think of going off to college would be like versus what it really is?
I was a really good student in high school. I got a lot of straight A's, didn't really struggle that much for anything. And I always kind of felt like my parents were too much, too controlling of everything I did. And so I kind of felt like college was just going to be more the same with school. It was going to be easy and I would have less, people around me controlling what I did all the time. And so I went into it really excited. I thought, it was going to be successful. I went in as a chemical engineering major and I just thought I was going to blow right through it, you know, and I thought it was just going to be perfect, as easy as everything was. And, kind of from the first month, first semester there, I sort of realized that it's just not the same as high school was. Nothing was the same. Classes were harder. It moved at a quicker pace. There's kids around you that are just as smart, if not smarter than you. And the main thing I struggled with was managing my own time and dealing with something that was just so not rigid as a schedule. Because truly, I had nobody telling me to wake up and go to class, nobody telling me to wake up and do anything, or I didn't have to be in a building all day. I could go back to my dorm and I could sit and I could play video games all day if I wanted to. And so that's something that I really struggle with the most, I would say, is just keeping myself on track and making sure everything gets done because I'd never really had to do that before. I'd always had somebody there reminding me or a very rigid structure in place like high school was where you go class to class every day. So I think that was kind of like a major, major shocker for me was trying to learn how to manage my own time and manage the increased load of schoolwork and just how difficult the schoolwork was going to be from this point on. And so that was just mainly the huge difference between college and high school. And it hit me by surprise. So yeah, I just didn't, start off all that hot.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being so honest because this is the situation so many students are in, and it's very relatable. But I think for parents, it's a shocker because their kids did do so well in high school, and then they just expect it to carry on to college. But it's just there's so many transitions going on and so many things happening that it's a shocker for the student and a shocker for the parents too. So describe kind of the situation that prompted coaching with me. Like where did you, what situation were you in kind of when you came to coach with me?
You know, I went through freshman year and I was kind of able to make it through my classes. I think part of that was because of the large amount of Zoom classes I was doing. And, I was kind of able to just tank my way through it, minus a few couple problems here or there. So I would say it was mostly an okay year. And, I kind of got into sophomore year and I'd gotten away with, kind of continued bad habits and stuff. And when I got there and the course load really picked up with difficult science classes into my major for chemical engineering classes, that's when it kind of all hit me full on in the face. And it was just the amount of coursework and it was failing tests and not, preparing for really anything because I'd never had to study before in my life. And it just kind of caused me to just full on shut down. I just stopped going to class. I stopped even working on anything once I saw those bad grades come in. And it just really kind of knocked my confidence down a lot in myself. And so instead of, fighting through or doing something different, I just completely shut down and let go and basically just wasted almost an entire year of school doing absolutely nothing, not going to class, not doing anything, just, kind of hanging out in my apartment. So I think that I just wasn't really prepped for this. And part of that had to do with just, not being able to deal with that kind of failure before and just some terrible habits, letting things around me control me instead of me being the driving factor of everything. And that's like the main problem was I would just let things go off to the last minute and struggle to get back, procrastinate studying for a test, and then the night before stay up all night and do horrible on the test. And I kind of just felt lost. I didn't really know if, this was something that I was going to continue with. I didn't know if I was really cut out for it. So it kind of just, dropped my confidence down a lot. And it was something that was hard to drag myself out of without some sort of support system.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being so honest with everything because I see so many students again in your situation, and their confidence does deplete, and then they question like, am I in the right major? Am I even cut out for college? And all these doubts and fears and the feeling of failure show up, and then it doesn't help because it just makes you feel worse, and then you feel like not doing anything. And I think that's kind of where you kind of, it snowballed for you, and then you're just like, well, it almost paralyzes you. Would you say that was pretty accurate?
Yeah, it was just something that you just felt so I felt so like terrible about everything that was happening, and seeing all these poor results that I felt like I was lost. I felt like that was it. I couldn't do anything. And I don't know, it was important for me to, I think, reach that point, and I wish that I had kind of done it sooner, and having an opportunity to learn from mistakes and learn how to deal with stress and learn how to deal with everything before going to college. Because when you get there and you're on your own, I kind of just felt like I was on my own. I didn't feel like I had things around me that could help, and so it just kind of made me shut down, just question everything that I was doing. So
Yeah, for sure. And it makes complete sense with everything that was going on for you because you weren't used to being in that situation, right? So I know, after you started coaching with me, things turned around for you really quickly. So tell me,
mm,
how did coaching help you?
to me, it just instilled like so much confidence back into me that I could, kind of do whatever if I put, my mind and my effort towards it. It especially taught me so much to like kind of sort of empower myself to know that everything that happens around me is basically under my control, especially with school, with relationships, and everything in between. Everything that happens is under my control. And I learned that really quickly that, when I prepare, when I'm on top of things, when I'm at class every day, when I'm working hard, getting all my stuff done, the results automatically just kind of, they just come. I don't have to focus so hard on getting results because I can just kind of focus on putting those actions towards these results, and they'll just kind of show up. And so that was really important to me. I think the main thing that has really changed a lot for me has been learning time management and doing calendars, and kind of having a second thing to keep me on track and keep giving me reminders and stuff. And that has kept me so, focused and kind of disciplined to do everything that needs to get done, because on my Google Calendar, I have an alert every time I have a class, every time I have a test, every time I have anything, even jobs in the summer and stuff. Every time I get an alert. So there's really no sort of excuse for me not to get things done. I know what's coming to me every day. And I think that's been something that's really, really important to me.
Yeah, and I mean, you did such a quick turnaround from where you were at, and like I remember within even just the first week of us meeting into the second week, you had just turned things around so quickly because and this is true of a lot of students. You were looking for a solution, and I gave it to you, and then you ran with it. So like, I can give you the tool, right, but you have to use it, and you did, and you implement it right away, and you saw the changes right away. And it was super awesome just watching you like switch so quickly. And I know the time management it was like a game changer for you, and it's a game changer for all of my clients. And so I love that it's helping you so much. And now it's like yours. I love that you mentioned like life was just kind of controlling you and you weren't controlling it, and or time was controlling you and you weren't controlling it. So now you're in complete control, which helps you feel more confident and balanced and everything, and of course less stress, right?
Yeah,
um
I was just able to kind of, you know, stay on top of things, get things done, keep myself to a really nice schedule and not, you know, let things get away from me so much. Like I stopped. I mean, I'm not a perfect in this regard, but my procrastination levels have dropped so much. Like I'm more inclined just to get myself up and moving, get things done, go to the library, and kind of put myself in those good positions to change change everything. And it's been really important to me. So
yeah, and it's shown. I mean, so that said, like, what areas of your life have you seen improvement in since starting coaching?
I've just mainly just seen like my confidence has risen so much. I would say that my relationship with my parents and being honest and getting to just check in with them and let them know that I'm still on the right track and I'm doing the things that has improved so much, and I built like a lot of trust with my parents that I didn't have before. And I think those are really important to me. And also just we learned a lot about relationships and things in your life that are kind of like stressing you out or you know causing you problems, and how to like see those signs and control my emotions and stuff. And so I think that has been really important for me, and it's truly like given me a whole different outlook on life. So
Yeah, you're definitely walking an easier path for sure. Like you're definitely, um, life is always going to happen. And earlier you said, there's still procrastination. And very honest with clients, like it's never going to go away, but you can learn how to control it so you
mhm.
can move forward and kind of win, right? And do the
Yeah.
things that you really want to do and not let it hold you back. So, so you kind of touched on this a little bit, but how are you feeling now?
I just, I feel in control. I don't feel like the school is too much. I feel that I can balance other things in my life and get things done and, still work hard, still, get really good results and stuff. And I just feel like I don't know, it's just been a big change for me to feel like this and to be so on top of things and not rushing everything to the last minute like I have before. And it's it's powerful to see yourself as somebody who can get things done and be successful and still carry great relationships with people and stuff. And that's been something that's been awesome for me in doing this, that my stress levels have dropped significantly. I have more time to hang out with my friends. I have more time to do the things that I like to do because I put the work in, you know all week to get to this point.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. And I love that it's like uh, you've made like big strides, but the stuff you did was kind of easy. Like it's
yeah,
not always easy to maybe get the habit down, but the tools you implemented were easy. Would you say that?
I think 100%. It wasn't like, especially like with the calendar and tracking my assignments and stuff, that wasn't like a lot of work, and it's not a lot of work to just enter my important things and then enter my dates in and stuff. It wasn't a lot of work, but it has completely like revamped, my days. It's completely made my time management skills so much better. And so it's just been, like those little changes that I would have never done had I not had somebody to help me, kind of push that along, that has really made such a difference. And, it kind of like unlocked something inside of me that was always there, that kind of turned me into, super diligent, super disciplined when I don't have that kind of motivation. So,
Yeah, and I love it. I've loved watching you. It's been so exciting for me as a coach to see you just like turn around so quickly and just like really be so successful, and really just grow so quickly. And so it's been fun to watch you. So I have a last question for you. So what advice would you give to parents that have kids in high school or college regarding
Mhm.
coaching?
To me, it's that I think majority of kids are gonna kind of hit a rock bottom point. They're kind of going to hit a point where, they don't, they're failing. They can't seem to pull themselves out of it because at the end of the day, we're just kids and we're all just kind of learning as we go along. We don't have that world experience. And so a lot of people hit that rock bottom and they can't really pull themselves out of it. And it's really something that I had wished I had gone through sooner or taken some steps like this coaching to learn how to deal with this rather than just completely shutting down and not even, knowing where to go past that. And so to me, I think that high schools in general don't do a good job teaching these kids how to deal with stress, teaching these kids how to deal with failure because people are so kind of results motivated, and that's kind of the expectation for a lot of parents is that it's A's or it's nothing. But there's probably going to come a point where most of these kids are going to find themselves in a situation where that's just not possible. Like to this day, I'm not a straight A student in college. I, you know, it's just I do my best every day and I work hard, but I'm never going to be a straight A student anymore. And I wish that a lot of people would understand that for many, that's not the reality. Straight A's, especially in college with a tough major, is not really a reality for a lot of people.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because I think a lot of parents that is the expectation because a lot of clients and students I talk to, they're like, well, I skated through high school. It was
Hmm.
kind of easier and I didn't even have to put in that much effort.
Nope.
And then college is a whole different ball game. Even putting in the effort and using all the tools. I mean, engineering's I have a lot of clients that are in engineering. It's a hard major, and I think the expectations of parents for students to get straight A's um, is unrealistic in a lot of the majors and just in general. And I think that's a great point to bring because a lot of students are stressed out trying to please their parents because it's important to them. And they're obviously a lot of parents are paying for college or took out loans. So I think just having more of a realistic expectation of their kids will help release some of this stress and pressure that they feel. Obviously, they still want them to do well and do their best, but there's just a different it's just a different level of playing when you're in college. And so I'm glad you mentioned that because it really does stress kids out. And parents might not like this, but I tell clients, that you're still going to pass if you're still going to pass your classes. If you don't get straight A's, you're still going to
Mhm.
get your diploma and you're still going to get an awesome job. But of course I always want them to strive to do their best, but sometimes straight A's are just not in the cards for most students. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. So any other thoughts you want to share? I think you've shared so many great things that I know we've talked about before, and that's why I wanted to kind of do this recording so parents can see it and even students if they want to watch it, just to so you and I together are helping more students not be in the situation of so much stress and anxiety and feeling like that failure feeling. And like some of them we might even prevent from dropping out or changing
Mhm.
a major just because they feel like um, they just didn't have the tools yet. So yeah, if there is anything else you want to share, feel free.
I guess I would just say that I know that like, a lot of the subject of this has been, about school and stuff and bringing myself out of school, but I've learned like so much more that I can take past school and bring into my, real life, especially like learning about relationships and learning about things that trigger me, learning how to avoid these things, kind of, putting together like goals and stuff like that. And so while, school was the main driving force why I started doing this, the information that I learned and the skills that I learned are something that I use every day, n- even in the summer times when I don't have school. And it's been very important for me. It's helped my anxiety a ton, and I would say that I just wish I had done it sooner, so I didn't have to pull myself out of the hole that I put myself in. So
Yeah, but congratulations because you've done a great job of pulling yourself out of the hole,
thank
even
you.
though you're in it. And I appreciate you sharing your story because it really helps so many students because they really are. So many of them are in the same boat, have been in the same boat, or will be in the same boat. And so, if you and I doing this can prevent some of those students from getting to that point, then we've done our job. So yeah, I really appreciate it. I'm so proud of you for all the work that you've done. And you're right. Like when you coach, it's a holistic process. It really touches every area of your life, not just academics, and really creates that feeling of balance, less stress, less anxiety, and just that confidence of being able to move forward and know that you're in control. You're in control
Mhm.
of your life. And so thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing your journey with us.
For sure. Thank you.